And I call him secretly Olori Kunkun, a stubborn man. So he ignored my advice completely. So I came to see how he was doing after neglecting my advice. Wanted to see if both he and his wife were weathering Nigeria as well as can be expected, and to wish them a happy Christmas.
Professor Soyinka also stated that his personal principle places a demand on him to wait for 1 year before making public his assessment of any government, a practice he stated that he has maintained over time.
Well, you know, something you may have noticed about me that most heads of state, when they take office, I always leave them alone for about the first year. I don't know if you've seen that, if you've noticed that. Because they need, I know when they come in, they don't start from ground zero. They often start even lower than ground zero, and they have to make up. So I have this personal policy, whether it's Obasanjo or Buhari or Jonathan, you'll notice that during the first year, I hardly ever say anything. And then people ask me, why I not talk? I say, go and ask the last person whether I spoke during the first year. So I'm adopting the same principle this year.
Uyi Agumofwegbe reporting for Global TV.
Matthew Kukah, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, has said that President Bola Tinubu has no excuses if his government fails to address the pressing issues facing Nigeria. Kukah, who stated this while delivering his Christmas message in Sokoto on Monday, noted that neither history nor God will forgive the president if he failed. The message tagged "Time to Reclaim Nigeria's Greatness" touched on unity, nation building, insecurity, politics, among others. He urged President Bola Tinubu to use his wealth of experience to end what he called ugly instrumentalization of religious, ethnic, or regional identities. However, Kukah argued that palliatives would not resolve Nigeria's problems, describing the problems as deep and structural. He also appealed to Nigerians to continue to have faith in the country and to be hopeful. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and the National Orientation Agency have commended the efforts of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, in combating corruption and economic crimes in the country. Akwa Ibom State Director of the agency, Nkoncho Nkpanchom, gave the commendation during a recent court visit to the state capital, Uyo Zonal Command of the EFCC. Speaking during the visit, the NOA director said there was a need for collaboration between the EFCC and the National Orientation Agency towards improving the country's image and ensuring that Nigerians are proud to identify with their country as citizens. He also noted that no crime is small, adding that every degree of crime does damage to the reputation of the country. As Christians join the rest of the world to celebrate Christmas, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has called on Nigerians to remain steadfast and hopeful despite the hard times they are experiencing. According to Akpabio, Christmas calls for reflection on the teachings of Jesus Christ, which were anchored on love for neighbor, peaceful coexistence, and loyalty to constituted authorities. Akpabio, who advised Nigerians not to give up on their leaders, particularly the current government of President Bola Tinubu, said he is confident that with prayers and supports, the current administration will wipe away tears in no distant time. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, has extended his Christmas greetings to all the residents of the Federal Capital Territory for the 2023 Christmas. The minister said the birth of Jesus Christ is a reminder and a call for love, compassion, and renewal of the enduring gift of life. He then called on residents to be kind to others, share generously with those in need, and strive to be better humans. Wike reminded residents that the Federal Capital Territory, which is a microcosm of Nigeria's rich diversity, stands as a testament to the strength that comes from unity. Meantime, Chairman of Abuja Municipal Area Council, Christopher Zaka Mekanlagu, has urged residents of the council to spread the gospel of love, tolerance, and peaceful coexistence as they join Christians to celebrate. In his Christmas message to mark the 2023 Christmas celebration, Mekanlagu congratulated residents, particularly Christians, on this spiritual occasion and remarked that the celebration calls for sober reflection as well as emulating the exemplary life of Jesus Christ. He further charged the entire residents of the council to rededicate themselves to the service of God and humanity to make Nigeria a better place during and after the festive period. Similarly, Chairman of Kwali Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja, Danladi Chia, has felicitated with Christians across Kwali Area Council as they celebrate the birthday of Jesus Christ. The Kwali chairman stated this in a message issued by his press secretary, Babangida Sarki, called on Christians, particularly residents of Kwali, to show love to one another. The chairman, who is also the FCT Argon chairman, said Christians should scale down and be moderate in celebrating the Christmas, especially with the present economic meltdown. Chia appealed to wealthy individuals in society to use the opportunity of the Yuletide season and put a smile on the faces of the less privileged by assisting them, affirming that there is, according to him, a silver lining in the sky. Indications have emerged that the death toll from assailants attacks on some communities in Bokos and Barakin Ladi local government areas of Plateau State during the weekend has risen to 76. It was earlier reported on Sunday that no fewer than 16 persons had been killed in Mushu village in Bokos local government area. The spokesperson for Operation Safe Haven, Captain Oya James, confirmed the incident, saying the attack took place on Saturday night while residents of the community were asleep. As we turn to other stories for you now, Abia State Governor Alex Otti has urged Nigerians to exercise patience with the economic policies initiated by President Bola Tinubu, expressing optimism that positive changes are on the horizon. Speaking in Lagos on Sunday after paying a Christmas visit to the president, Governor Otti noted that the present administration had inherited a challenging economic reality.
He came in at a very difficult time when inflation was close to 30%. The debt, national debt, almost $40 billion. And then unemployment close to 33.3%. Then the management of the economy at that time was also a big challenge with almost 24 trillion naira printed, what is described as ways and means. So anyone that understands how the economy works will agree that it's a very difficult challenge.
Governor Otti highlighted issues such as surging inflation, a substantial debt profile, and high unemployment rate that President Tinubu faced on taking office. He added that the president has been very courageous, unifying the exchange rate and removing fuel subsidy, which had become a scam and costing the nation a lot of money.
One thing is that he has been very courageous, unifying the exchange rate and then removing petroleum subsidy, which actually had become a scam and costing us a lot of money. So those policies are good, but then they come with their negative sides. They come with challenges for an economy where over 60% of the population are living below the poverty line. So it's not going to be easy immediately, but I believe that if we are patient and if we go through the policies without compromising, that over time things will turn around.
The Abia State Governor, however, stated that consistency in the manner in which government's policies are driven is key in turning the nation's tide around for the better.
The deputy spokesman of the House of Representatives, Philip Agbese, has called on Nigerians to continue to pray for President Bola Tinubu and the National Assembly to enable them succeed in the task of delivering services to the nation. Agbese, in a special message to mark Christmas, noted that the Bible teaches Christians to pray for people in authority at all times. In a statement on Monday to commemorate Christmas, he added that the prayers of the people avail much, adding that rather than murmuring, criticizing, or castigating the people in power as Christians, they should always pray for leaders and people in positions of authority. And it is not only when the leader has peace of mind that he can settle down for the business of governance and administration. The Nigeria Governors Forum, NGF, has countered claims that crisis is rocking its secretariat over alleged financial misconduct. The NGF confirmed that the allegations of fraud raised by its Director of Media and Public Affairs, Abdulrazak Barkindo, are already being investigated by the police. The forum, in a statement by its Director of Legal, Chijioke Chukwu, on Monday described a letter attributed to Barkindo as inflammatory and misguided allegations. Barkindo, in the letter addressed to the forum's chairman and Kwara State Governor, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, alleged that the NGF is running an agenda contrary to that of improving the lives and livelihoods of the populace at the sub-national level. You're watching the Global AM News live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using our Global TV NG and other handles as you now see on your screen. When the news returns, oil revenue crashes by 289.6 billion naira as output falls. The news continues shortly with details of this and more stories for you right after this break. Please don't go away. This is Global Television bringing you the Global AM News live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja, with Uyi Agumofwebe. Kaduna State Governor Senator Uba Sani on Monday felicitated with Christians on the occasion of Christmas with a call on Nigerian leaders to shun greed, corruption, and oppression of the poor. The governor, in a Christmas message, urged Christians to use the festive period as a moment of sober reflection and imbibe the value and lesson of the season, which includes charity, peace, and kindness to mankind, regardless of differences. He also said the state government was working in tandem with the federal government to mitigate the challenges of insecurity in the state. The governor, through his chief press secretary, Mohammed Lawal Shehu, maintained that his administration would not leave any stone unturned in his efforts to heal the wounds of the past. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, command in Cross River State, says a total of 2.05 tons of hard drugs were seized from drugs peddlers between January and December in the state. The state commander, Rachel Umoabuali, disclosed this in an interview in Calabar, the state capital, on Monday. Umoabuali, who is also the commander of the narcotics, disclosed that 223 suspects were arrested in connection with the seizure made in the year under review. While noting that the suspects included 22 females and 201 males, the commandant listed the seized hard drugs as cannabis, cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and psychotics. On the foreign scene now, at least a dozen schools in the provinces of Yala and Thiwath have been forced to close, while footage from the region showed homes and shops inundated with murky brown waters and residents taking refuge on upper floors. Flood caused by intense rainfall have affected tens of thousands of people in Thailand's deep south, officials said Monday, with some roads and railway lines forced to close. The heavy rains have also caused problems at sea, with at least 7 boats sunk in the Gulf of Thailand and Andaman Sea since Friday. In business, Nigeria lost about 289.6 billion naira crude oil revenue in November 2023, following a plunge in the country's oil output last month when compared to what it pumped in the preceding month of October. An analysis of the country's latest crude oil production figures obtained from the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission in Abuja show that Nigeria produced over 41 million barrels of crude, excluding condensates, in October. However, this plunged to a little over 37 million barrels in November, representing a decline of more than 4 million barrels when matched against what the country produced in October. The average price of Brent, which is the global benchmark for crude in November 2023, was $82.94 per barrel, according to Country Economy and International Statistical Firm. The Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Ship Management Limited has said that over 800 Nigerian seafarers are on board its international sea-going vessels. The managing director of NSML, Abdulkadir Ahmed, said this in Lagos during the induction of 50 cadets sponsored by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, for the completion of their cadetship and award of certificate of competency. He added that the seafarers were trained to the best standard where they could compete with other seafarers in the world. And now time to talk some sports. Napoli striker Victor Osimhen has signed a new deal that runs until 2026 with the Italian club. The 24-year-old scored 26 Serie A goals in 32 appearances in 2022-2023 as he helped Napoli win their first league title in 33 years after joining from LOSC in September 2020 for a fee of 75 million with bonuses. With the new deal, his salary will significantly increase to 10 million euros each season after taxes, but more importantly, it will include a 130 million euro release clause that is only applicable to teams outside of Italy. Osimhen, who managed 31 goals in all competitions last season, was crowned the Italian Footballers Association Player of the Year earlier this month. He has so far netted 7 goals in the Italian league this season. He was also named the African Footballer of the Year for 2023. The Blue Sharks have found themselves on a similar trajectory to the last edition in Cameroon, where they made it to the round of 16 as one of the 4 best placed teams. Cape Verde's is a team that makes the offensive face its main strength. Giovanni Cabral of Salernitana is one of the team's main players, but the flair of Rayo Vallecano player Bebe and the speed of Gary Rodriguez should help the team when they face Egypt and Ghana in the games they are expected to lose. The solidity of the midfield, which Patrick Andrade, Jamiro Montero, and Yao Paulo are set to start, should give some boost to them and the team. Pedro Babista Letao will lead Cape Verde to AFCON 2023, his tournament following his appointment in January of 2020. And that's it on Global TV AM News, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja, with Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Uyag Mufwegwe, thanking you very specially for watching. Global Morning continues shortly.